Ignacio Vasconcelos was cutting grass at Elizeurizul, some 3 kilometers away from San Lorenzo Tenochtitlan, Veracruz, when his machete struck something hard. The solid mass turned out to be a carved stone figure. Soon 2 more were found. These Olmec-style statues represent 2 clearly human, almost identical personages. Each human figure with classical Olmec features measures 1 meter tall. The almost identical human figures strongly support the thesis that the Olmecs of San Lorenzo had workshops for monumental art. They were found 1 human figure behind the other and both facing the jaguar, some 50 centimeters beyond. The discovery of the Rancoazuazul sculptures provides convincing evidence that Olmec sculptures were arranged in ensembles to display themes and events scenically. Each and every monument on the Azuazul Acropolis is spectacular because they are all largely intact and extraordinarily well preserved, making the ancient setting in this place of incalculable historic value. Both sculptures are identical in size and form, with only a slight difference evident in the facial characteristics, to the same degree that identical twins are really exact copies of each other. Both twins wear wide belted loincloths and long armbands which extend from the wrist to the elbows. On the breast each has a rectangular pectoral decorated by 3 parallel bands at each side which intersect each other at the corners, leaving the central space empty. Extraordinary is the representation of what appears to be a cloth which begins at the top of the headdress and continues seamlessly down the back to the ground like a train. The forehead is covered by a headband, consisting of the 3 twisted cords over a small band. Of special importance is the object in its center, which may be a badge of rank. The concave impression in its front reminds one of a concave mirror. The front part of the headband and the sides of the cap are destroyed. The torsos of each figure are executed in the round, a common trait in San Lorenzo. The faces have the typical half-open Olmec mouth, narrow, horizontal eyes with well-designed pupils, and a fine, almost aquiline nose. The feline sculpture contrasts sharply with the 2 twin sculptures in its formal stylistic attributes. The stiffness and immobility of the posture differ from the fluid lines of the human figures. Closer scrutiny reveals a clear asymmetry of the body, suggesting that the present form was forced from a previous shape which set clear limits to the new sculptural form. The face is unnaturally flat, contrasting with the feline profile in nature. The front legs and shoulders of the animal are awkwardly positioned and compressed into rigid spatial limits defined by the dimensions of the stone. The consistency of the stone itself reveals that the back of the feline is more fragile due to more intense weathering. The oxidation of the basalt on the dorsal side is not apparently a result of its position during this latest interment, but may be attributed to that side being the base of the previous sculpture. The physical arrangement and the characteristics of human figures and feline bear uncanny symbolic resemblances to later period myths from the Maya and Central Mexican cultures about twins and jaguars. Like the young heroic twin gods of the Pufolva who are associated with sun and light, these twins face east, the direction of sunrise and the first source of light. The jaguar associations with Kish kingship seem to be echoed by the felines and are reminders that feline ruler connections have been documented throughout Mesoamerican prehistory. Perhaps the parallels are mere coincidence, or perhaps this scene represents a very ancient myth that dates to the early pre-classic. Associated with public architecture, the scene may be interpreted as a vestige of a ritual reenactment in which monuments were utilized to portray a possible historical or mythical event with astronomical significance or symbolism. The lack of dedicatory offerings with the 3 sculptures may indicate that this is an abandoned visual display, an explanation that does not negate the possibility that is a ritually dedicated offering.